Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Listen, we are glad you are here. Welcome to the plug, Power Living Under God, where we encourage, inspire, educate, listen, motivate. We stay plugged into God, where we're connecting first with ourselves so that we can better connect with one another, have healthy, substantial relationships. I am your host. I am your girl, your auntie next door. I am Felicia Williams, and I am honored that you are here to join us today on the plug. If this is your first time, welcome. For all of you who are here and you always support us, we appreciate your support. Come on in, plug in to this episode, which I'm excited about because it's dear to my heart. That's a little pun. And so today we're going to talk about, well, this is the title, D.E.A.R, which is Dear Parents. But the D.E.A.R is the acronym that stands for Drop Everything and Respond. I just took that from those of you who are in education probably know where it comes from because many educators use this, especially when if they're doing the content of reading or any of the subject matters. Drop everything and read. Well, school is out. School is out. Now what, parents? Now what? Well, I got an answer. The plug has an answer just for you. Drop everything, parents, and respond. Your children, whether they're young or youth, they know what dear is. Drop everything and read. But this is for us as parents, as grandparents, aunts and uncles, anybody that is going to be responsible for young people anywhere from zero, that's why, 0 to 17. I dare you, I challenge you to drop everything and respond. Well, while you're here today, we want you to make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, because you know how it is. The analytics just, we want everybody to get the message. We are about connecting in community, connecting with young people who are doing amazing things in their youth and young age right now, connecting with their parents as their parents partner with the young people, parents partner with schools, and parents partner with church, parents partner with family. We just about ensuring that all things are done well as long as we stay under the power. The power belongs to God. God is the source of all things, y'all, and we are resources. Um, so here we are to talk about strategies and um, things, interventions we can use this summer. Because do not, friends, do not allow your children to go on a summer break for the whole summer. I'm a believer. Yes, they should get some little rest from school, maybe a week. I know that's controversial for many. A week is all right, but listen to me. If your child is a week behind, we're gonna talk about that. No, drop everything and respond. We want you to respond to their mental needs, their physical needs, their spiritual needs, their emotional needs. Listen, parents, dear parents, drop everything and respond. We're gonna do a series this summer, and it's just dear parents. Since the kids are out, the plug want to talk to the parents. Dear parents, thank you for coming in. I see many of our supporters on. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Mom. And so we're going to hear from. I have a guest. This is she's a guest, but she's my sister, and she's going to come talk to us about the perspective of why it's important. As a first lady, she's seen over the summers how it's important for young people to be plugged in. In their spiritual um, for their spiritual needs in church, and we know everybody may not go to church, and we know that a lot of people may listen to this podcast, but we want to encourage you. Your child's spiritual um, capacity is important. If they're empty, they need it to be filled. So we here at the plug always promote the whole child. They need to be supported physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, so that relationally they will be sound. All right, so y'all come on in and then share this with someone. We're going to give some tips, some strategies. I've talked to some of my principal friends because some of them were going to be MIA at the 5 o'clock hour, but they're going to go back and listen to this podcast and share it with their teachers and their families in their communities. All right, we're going to bring up First Lady Diane Baker Woodford. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear us? Okay, all right. Want to make sure that you can just, I know, well, welcome back again. Um,
Thank you.
yeah, so you want to introduce yourself? I did, but I'm about, let everybody introduce themselves. So,
Well, thank you once again for allowing me on to the plug. It's always a pleasure to be on the plug, Power Living Under God. And that's what we try to practice at Crosspoint Bible Fellowship over at 7333 West Wheatland Road in Dallas, Texas, 75249. And as you can see, I am displaying a little bit of our gear. Crosspoint MAD, Make a Difference. That's what MAD stands for, Make a Difference Initiative. So that's making a difference in our community, reaching all the houses, the neighbors around our church within what they call the Woods area. And by doing so, by going out, having food drives, by having food distributions on a monthly basis, and as we're talking today, summer activities, summer involvements. And I'm going to plug this in is if you're looking for some hours, community service hours, by all means, please stop by Crosspoint Bible Fellowship every fourth Saturday from 10 to noon, 10 to 1. Get there at 9 so you can do the preparation part of it and help with the food distribution. So that's every fourth Saturday from 10 to 1, but get there at 9 so you can help prep to do the food distribution and get your hours, your community hours, because we always need volunteers. So that's my little plug in about Crosspoint Bible Fellowship to make a difference in the community. And I know our youth need something to do during the summer. So by all means, come on over to the point, Crosspoint.
yes, yes. And so you are actually right what we're going to start because I think we can't start any place except we start at the base. Um, so and the base is the young people's spiritual aspect of parents responding to their spiritual needs. So
Yes.
you heard um, Lady Di talk about what Crosspoint has to offer. When we talk about community service, most of the time it's going to be our youth that need community service. So I think that's very important so they can go ahead and get those hours. She's giving you the time and they're located in Duncanville, and we're here in Texas. So I'm encouraging everyone, no matter where you are, get plugged into the resources in your community. Every community, unless it's a rural area, but every community has a recreation center.
Yes.
Okay, so in the summer, those recreation centers have a plethora of resources
Yes.
for young people. But to this spiritual aspect, why do you think um, it's important for our children and youth in the summer to be plugged into spiritual resources, Lady Di, or anyone in the chat? I see you in the chat. We will make certain that we get your comments read aloud.
I don't see
So,
anybody. So, well, just to answer the question, spiritually for the summer, I mean, you want to stay connected, just like you were stating at the beginning, constantly reading. So, reading books through the summer, reading your word, that should be one of your main priorities, reading the word of God, so you can stay spiritually connected. And if your church in your community has a summer camp, spiritual biblical summer camp, by all means do so, or the surrounding areas of your community. Make sure they're being plugged in into a church camp that will continue to grow them spiritually and keep them connected to vertically so they can stay horizontally
Yes, that's the
bound.
cross. That's right. Yes. You mentioned reading. Of course, we're going to tap into the importance of reading, and of course, over every aspect, whether that's again spiritual, mentally, emotionally, um, socially. The young people need to read, and of course, reading the word. I know many churches have um, youth church. Whereas when we were in church, everybody worshiped together. But now our church communities have different programming for everybody from 0 to 13, and then from 14 on. It may vary with ages, but again, the key thing to do is use this device that everybody has
Yes.
and Google it, and all the different ways you can ask Siri or ask AI, ask somebody, ask anybody, ask everybody about what you can do with your children. You remember, drop
Yeah.
everything and respond, because what we don't want, and I'm sure parents you don't want. I hope all of us keep an eye out this summer to understand no child should be left alone, not
No.
behind, left alone. This is the Memorial Day weekend. I know that people are on the road. I was in the grocery store, the baskets are filled with all the goods, with the charcoal and the red soda and all the trimmings and all the things. And people
Right.
got their swim trunks. And the plug, just want to plug this in. Keep your eye on the children.
Yes.
Please do not um give them the okay to just go and be like adults. As the adults are having a good time, I'm encouraged. I'm for a good time. Listen, the girl is for a good time, but I'm also, when there are children, somebody keep watch over the children, because it never fails every summer, y'all, at some gathering. But if we are committed to drop everything and respond, if there are children involved or around, let us be mindful. And if all of us have our peripheral vision and pay attention to the children, they will be safe. They will
Yes.
be safe. That's how we are talking about respond to the children. And something else we mentioned about um, at Cross Point. Oh, I know you mentioned camps. I want to say at the bottom of the screen says plug into the Cash App. Here on the plug, like I said, we're here to encourage, inspire, to impact lives. And we actually do that. We've done so many things in the community. And one of the episodes, we're going to just show you what we've done in the community. One of those things is to sow seeds in the lives of young people. We sown a seed into a life of one of our young, we call them family. Once you on the plug, you family now. But as that young man has his own homeless nonprofit. So we sold a seed into little Ezel. I always mess his name up. But here's another what we're doing for this time. Everything that is sown today, we're sowing. So if you feel led to, or out of obedience of the Holy Spirit, to sow a seed, this is going to sponsor a child at Antioch Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, the SLI program, which is the Leadership Institute, Summer Leadership Institute is what it's called. And we're going to sponsor a child. So we'll reach out to them, and we're going to sponsor the child, one of the children, parents who needs, some support. You do know parents need support. And God forbid if you got what? More, not God forbid, but if you have more than one,
Mm-hmm.
that's costly. So what we can do, just like the plug, if you have the means to do so, this is
Yes.
how you can drop everything in response. You can call around to all of the different churches, or you can be anonymous and call and say, hey, y'all have a summer program. I would like to donate, or I would like to sponsor a kid. You don't have to tell your name, however you want to do it, however the Lord prompts you. But let's do this. Let's drop everything and respond to children this summer. So that's what's going to happen if you sow a seed today here at the Cash App. It's going to be $ the Felicia Williams. Your will go towards sponsoring a child in the SLI program at Antioch Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, where our pastor is Christopher Wesley. So we're going to do that. And so I want to kind of talk about what some of the educators have asked me to say on the program today and how we can drop everything in response. And here's something in the chat. If you don't choose Antioch, choose any local church. All right, any local church, so you can donate and support a child in the summer camp.
I was
All
gonna
right.
add to that too, Felicia, that like I want to shout out to my small group at like you said, many hats, Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, small group 0812 plus. We actually, our small group actually donated funds and supported a child for summer camp at their church. So that is going into what I was speaking about. If not Antioch, if not your local own church that has, if it doesn't have a camp, but any local church, you can support your small group, your big group, you know, whatever group you're a part of can always, everybody can chip in $10, $20 and donate it and give it to a child to support. So I just want to throw that in there.
Yes, yes, because that's giving ways. How that's talking to the topic, which is drop everything and response. How your
Yeah,
small group can respond. How
yeah,
you can respond today by donating to the plug, and the plug is going to ensure that your funds are going to Antioch Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church to support a child in the camp. How can you support? You can do it in your local communities. Even Diane mentioned a food bank, or how Cross Point has food and give, because remember back in the day, the park and recreations used to give free food
yeah,
to all the children in the neighborhood. You could go to your local park and get a meal.
yes,
You can have free food, because listen, I wanted to come on today to just jog people's memory, because this happens all over the world. Child hunger.
yes,
Right in your community, you may be surprised. Children go hungry.
yes, they do. Think about COVID
Um,
too, sis. When we
this
had COVID,
right.
we,
This is
unbeknownst to us, people we thinking that have funds and food were pulling up. And it was like, oh my God, you just
right.
don't know how it affects someone. And like to your point, for summer, we don't know what anybody look. Don't let the look
Fool
fool
you. Right.
you.
That's
Don't let
right.
it fool you.
Because we can't judge the external.
Yes,
God just told, but we can't look on the outside. So that always too goes back to being connected. The plug is always trying to connect us. Connection is relationship, y'all. So if you see someone in the community, you can, talking to people will help you know if a family may be in need. Or go again to your local church, go up to the recreation center, ask how can you support. But the food bank, if you don't want to go up to the church, go and donate those non-perishable items to a food bank. And
right.
the food bank will be giving food to the homeless. There's a shelter in communities, downtown, and any downtown somewhere. There could, again, use your device to find a resource where we can give, drop everything in response. This is on the behalf of children. The plug loves the children. This is on behalf of hungry children too, because like I said, um, how are we going to respond to their physical needs? They're hungry.
Right.
All right. It's summertime, so they got some little shorts so they can cut off pants. Yeah, I'm talking about old school. You can cut off some pants to make shorts, because you'd be surprised if we're looking at the news and things are happening. It's affecting us, just like sis mentioned COVID. You don't know it affects you until it affects you.
Yeah.
We didn't think about the truck drivers getting the food to the stores for us to purchase until you got to the store, and then there was nothing.
Nothing.
Right. So I'm saying, when we watch news intentionally, and of course prayerfully, where we see that it could be a concern of single parents, is whether that's of female or man, but not a male. But it don't have to be a single parent. A
Mm,
two-parent family can struggle, y'all.
yes.
Why? Because it could be unemployment. We just don't know. The message is this: drop everything and respond when you see it. When you see something, say something. We easily tell kids that, but what about us?
Yeah.
We have the power. This summer, when we're driving around or doing what you do, whether you're working, chilling, vacationing, pay attention when you see children. I'm going to say this. This wasn't even part of the content of the show today, but um sex trafficking is still alive with
Mm-hmm.
young girls and boys.
Oh, yes.
I say that because paying attention to kids, somebody may be signaling you for a message. Today's show is just to drop everything and respond
Yes.
to our
Oh,
children, to our youth. Let's go in the house. When I say in the house, yes, we've talked about responding by donating or sponsoring somebody. We talked about how you can respond by encouraging your young people, actually carrying them to the church or finding something on YouTube that will feed them spiritually, or you know reading. I'm gonna get to that when I get to this educational piece. But it is so important that in your house, your children now home, it's the summer. You may not have the funds. Somebody may not have the funds to send anybody to a camp, send somebody to up the street to the recreation center to be involved in programs. They may just have budgeted enough to, okay, summer's here, my kids are going to stay home. Well, even if your children are home, at home, even though your children are at the house, here's how you can respond. Drop everything in response. Don't leave children all day without somebody connected. Just every day, maybe you're gonna call it 12. Or you may call it different times. You just doing a check-in. That is very important. Let us not leave young people, not just little kids. I'm talking about your 15, 16, all of them. Check in. The reason I say that, I just heard a couple of young people share this with me, and these were young adults to be exact. And they said this to me: we want to help. We want somebody to check in. Sometimes we're assuming that young people don't want us. I know we're doing it sometimes based on their behavior, but the reality is all of us were created where we need somebody out. So if your children are home this summer, check in with them. And do not allow them to eat all the junk they want to eat. Please, parents, respond responsibly. Yes, I'm for the whatever for the kids, the little snacks, because we did too. It didn't kill us. However, in moderation.
yeah.
Let your children eat you out of house and home, a house and home. You know that'll happen in the summer. You know they're growing. So
Yes.
come
Healthy
on,
snacks. Healthy snacks. That's good.
healthy snacks. Let's talk about, yeah, and exercise.
Yeah, walking, getting off of those devices,
Yeah,
and getting out and walking. Walk down to, if the park is nearby, walking down there, or walk. You know what? Walk around the house.
yeah, that's
Walk
true.
the corner and back. Just baby steps yourself into something healthy, fruit, vegetables, healthy things, healthy,
Because
and and back to the old, going back, just going back to the basics.
to the basics, ABC, one,
Yes.
two, three. It's easy as ABC, one, two, three. And yes, you might be saying, I don't have the money. That's okay. I'm praying that God will use your creative ability to think outside the box, because there's so many things that you can do with your children in the house.
Yes.
It don't cost you a lot of money.
No.
Yes, healthy snacks. If you got to create it, if you got to go get some saltine crackers, yeah, I said saltine, and put some peanut butter on them bad boys and put them
Yeah,
together. There you'll get a little healthy snack or some protein. They may
that's
not like it at first, but I promise you, just keep it in there. If they
Yeah.
get hungry, what they used to say, they'll eat it. If you
There's
hungry, you eat it.
Yes. And there's enough food distributions, and that's the other thing with the church. There's a lot of churches out here who are doing food distributions that will contain healthy snacks and fruits and vegetables. So don't miss out on getting the free food from these churches around here, because they're giving it out, because the food banks are constantly supplying churches with the food. So don't miss your opportunity to get your free food, get your free healthy food and snacks.
Healthy, healthy. And yes, then when you're in the house, now I'm gonna go to reading. This is my heart right here because I'd asked one of my sons to come on. I guess they didn't have time to. Anyway, I hope you heard me. Alex Alante called you out, did, but I know you're probably doing something. But anyway, so um reading. A lot of our students are behind. Behind means this, parents. They're not reading on grade level. That means this. I'm not going to assume that everybody knows what that means. You may say, my child can read. Children will say, I can read. But when a teacher says your child is reading below grade level, that simply means if your child is in the second grade, he should now or she should now be reading at higher than second. Now they should be in third, the beginning of the third grade is they going to the third grade. So if their child is reading below grade level, that means whatever grade they in, take that grade and go beneath it. And sometimes that means most of the time they below the one that's right beneath it. That means there's a sixth grader that's reading on the third grade. Hear me well, please.
Mm.
There's a second grade reading on kindergarten. Hear me well, please. This drop everything in response. If you got all the information you need from your teacher, and I pray before God that you did. If you didn't, teachers should be still in there, maybe one a day, 1 or 2 days later, maybe not, maybe one. I think it's cut down. Get in touch to get the information because that's what you need to know. Where is my baby? Where is my child in reading? Where are they in math? So then you can drop everything and respond effectively. Here's what I want to tell every adult. This is one of the principal friends told me to share as well. And it's on my heart too, as I've had over 30 years in education. So I know how important this is to teachers, for students. It's important for the students. So if you read 20 minutes a day, just 20, if your child is reading below grade level, if you read 20 minutes a day, and now you got audio, let this read to them then. 20 minutes a day is a guarantee. Look it up, research it yourself. You can increase your child's grade level at least by 1 grade. Let's do the math. If my baby's in the second grade, he is reading below, or she is
Mm.
reading below grade level. Let's say they're on first grade level. If I start today, and every day we're going to read for 20 minutes. By August, when your baby go back to school, your baby will either be on grade level or above it. Facts. Try it. Put me to the test. Because every educator will help you know reading to your child or allowing them to read every day. That's all it takes. But listen, here's the sad reality. That's not what's happening. But they go into football practice.
Right.
They go into soccer.
Yeah.
They go into t-ball. They go
Yeah.
into basketball. They go into ballet recitals. They go into the musicals, the drama. And
Yeah.
shout out to all of that.
Yeah.
I'm not negating all. I think it's important. The whole child need all the extracurricular. But here is what's important. Reading will take them places. And you and I know that. So drop everything and respond. Read to them. And if you don't want to read to them and you don't have time, because I've heard all the stories, but there is no excuse to make an investment.
Yeah.
Children are an investment. Don't
Exactly.
you want some dividends from it? Make an investment. There is no excuse because if you can't do it, the programs in your community have people who can. The library always, every summer, has a reading program. They give prizes.
Yep. That's very key.
And your teachers. Here's another thing. I know this just from my own grandson's teacher. And the kids already missing their teachers. This is how important teachers are. My grandson yesterday's like, I miss my teacher. They only been out of school one day. I said, your teacher need a vacation.
Right?
But I said that to say, ask your teachers. A lot of times in the summer, educators are doing extra things. They could be doing tutoring. They could be tutoring at the library, or they may have something on their own doing some tutoring. They may have their own business for tutoring. Find a tutor, because I promise you, sight words will help your children. Just those basic phonics, those things, and you can do it yourself at home.
And then I think Felicia too.
Hold on, I'm sorry, sis. I don't mean to cut you off. I want to say this right quick. Someone said download the app Libby. You can access it digital, and it's an audio book from any library in your area. Thank you, Antoine. That's what it is. Antoine, thank you. So download the app Libby, because y'all, there are a lot of apps for reading, and you can get audio books. So in other words, what I hear the Lord saying out loud ain't no excuse.
No.
We are the most resourceful generation there ever has been, but we are the most ignorant. Help me, God.
Mm.
We got all the resources, but see, the resources not they can just sit there. It's going to take us to move and do something about it. All right, sis, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I just want to go. I'm gonna jump back to what I was gonna say, but Antoine also stated you can purchase bridge books from Barnes and Nobles, and then Katrina had stated read daily, ready daily works. She's a witness. It requires effort, intentionality, and sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said she assigned her daughter to write a book report on a book in the summer. Ooh, that's
I
really good.
like that.
That's a really good. The problem with kids today is they can get everything off the
The
internet.
internet.
We used to only have, ooh, girl, she went way back.
She
Encyclopedia.
did.
Oh my God. And oh
She,
my God, yes. We was A through Z oh my God, yes. The encyclopedias. I don't know who still got them, but if you still got them, whip them bad boys out and give them to the kids.
yeah, Kristen, you just made my head hurt, because
Oh
baby, that encyclopedia, you had to do some work. You had to
yeah.
literally sit there. She told me I'm 63.
You had to go and pull that big, thick, oh my God,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But that's
But
back to the basics.
that's
That's
back to the basics. But
basics.
we do know this. Now, you might have some kids that can do that, but you got this digital age. You have to deal with their emotionality. And
Mm,
so I'm going to always use what I know. My grandson, who has ADHD, and a lot of children do. And in the summer, the pediatricians as well as the educators will, well, the pediatricians, they encourage the parents to take them off in the summer,
mm,
which will require sacrifice, because then parents have to put these routines in, and it's a reason for that. It's a whole psychologically, emotionally, but going back to drop everything in response, we have to, so that you got to know your child. Like
yeah,
Kristen said, she knows her child. Like my grandson, I was with him the other day, and me and my daughter, we worked together, just trying to make sure we um know how to strategize so he can be successful in all things, even just being around people, you
yeah,
see.
yeah,
I mean, just we gotta pay attention. um I love that book report. You can be, let's get creative. Because I like drama. Have your kids get up and ask them. You may not even know what their talents are. You may be finding some new things about your child. Or something you may ask them, so what's your favorite book? You might not even know what your child's favorite book. And I encourage us to do that at church. Like maybe go by the ministry and talk to the kids. I want to say that to all the youth, not just youth ministers, all the ministers in a church, all the leaders, the servant leaders. Go and to the ministry where the children are, because oftentimes it's just left with the children workers or servers, those persons who are serving in that ministry. But the rest of us need to stop by and say hi.
yeah,
Make certain that in your service, make sure that you see children. Don't just walk by. I'm going over here. Let's chit chat with the adults and say them this, that, and the other. If you see children, acknowledge them,
yeah,
because they're living in a world where there's a lot of things going on, but they feel like that nobody sees them.
yeah, yeah.
I'm putting my therapeutic hat on. It's like nobody sees them.
Yeah.
In therapy, I could honestly say most of my clients, if they're young, it always goes back to not being seen, not being heard.
Mm.
Drop everything and respond to children. Let us be active listeners. And that's the plug from Plug Counseling. Plug Connect Counseling. I am the owner of Plug Connect Counselor. I do um, mental health, and I'm under the supervision of Pamela Aldridge. So we're here in Waxahachie, Texas. So that's the plug. We'll give you that information here shortly. We're having to pull it up in the background if you need some mental um, wellness, mental health. Please contact me and we can see, give you a 15-minute consultation and see what that looks like for you. And here's what we do in the profession of counseling or mental health. It's not that we're going to hoard anybody, because if I don't have what you need, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to plug you into somebody else.
Yes.
Because that's what it's about. It's about us supporting us, because if we don't help us, we can't be helped.
Mm-mm.
Community, community, community,
Community.
community. Yes.
I was gonna say too, I like games. So when I have all my god kids and other people's kids, church and stuff, I'm playing games. So playing the games, it gets them to do stuff I need them to do without them even realizing that they're doing it, without them even realizing that they're learning something. So whether it's the books of the Bible, whether it's like you stated, says, tell me what's your favorite book. Now read me a page. I want to hear it. I want to hear you read to me. We as mothers or parents would read to our children to at bedtime. Do the reverse. Have them read to you.
Yes, yes,
And
I like that.
so it's all kind of ways that you can finagle and work around and get your youth to read to you, or in a way to get them to read. Because, like I said, like I think Kristen said, you had a book report for the summer. Guess what? You do this book report, you get whatever it was that they're on, new phone, earbuds, whatever, some type of prize I'm
Yeah,
giving them at the end. Who can do the most reading of pages? Who took the sermon notes for the whole month? What was all the key points for the month? So I'll be giving prizes away next Sunday for the youth who took all the notes for each Sunday and got all the key points for it. So it's giving them to go back and read and see what they got so they can get the prize. So I just turn everything into a game, and kids love games. So
they do. They do. I love that. I love that you said, you're turning into a game, playing games, and something you mentioned that in therapy we use. You actually, that's a therapeutic orientation where play therapy.
yeah,
We and you said if you're playing a game, a lot of times parents come to therapy talking about kids won't talk, especially youth. But if you play a game, they're playing a game. That's the way to communicate with them, and not just Uno or not. It's so many games. We got games on the devices, right?
yep,
But get engaged with them. Or I better yet, and this was hard for me because I'm gonna be honest, I'd be like, I don't want to know none of that stuff they do. But this is what I said. Oh no, Felicia. So I asked them, teach me how to play Minecraft. What is Minecraft, Case? And show me how to play Minecraft. You got
mm,
to get in their world and
yeah,
let us drop everything and respond to them like we are interested. We
yeah,
often say they're not interested. Maybe they're showing us what we look like to them because we're not interested. Let's go to arts. Kids are so creative.
yeah.
But here's the beauty of the summertime, y'all. This is the beauty. I get excited talking about it because they're not in school, the real structured thing. They can really be creative.
Hmm.
Tap into your kids' creativity, whether that's drama, whether it's art, go and purchase, whether it's you don't have to be an easel, but the paintbrushes, the Play-Doh, get their hands there, get some sand. You can get all of that on Amazon. I ain't trying to plug Amazon because they need to be trying to plug me because they got enough. They got enough resources. We all up in there. But no, seriously, it is, having them go in the kitchen and cook with you, bake some cookies, or I know we said healthy. It can be some healthy cookies, but I'm just saying cook because you
Yeah,
may not even know that they have these skills,
yeah,
until if you do event planning this time, drop everything response looks like this. Whatever your business is, bring the children along, not just to carry the things, but yeah, they need to do that too. Maybe have them sit with you to plan it. Say, what are your thoughts about this? What do you think we should do this? Also, have them sit with you to do a budget. Well, hold up though. They can't help you do a budget if you ain't got one. Help me go. Listen, I had to step back and do that with my own self. My kids are gone and grown, but I didn't do that with them. If I had to do it over, I would. The reason why I didn't do it with them, oh, I'm gonna be transparent. We're transparent here on the plug. I didn't do it with them because I didn't have one to do it. I didn't do it. You see, you got to be able to pour. You can't pour from an empty cup. We say that often. Well, let's talk about what's in it. Like I can't be pouring financial literacy if I don't have it myself. Help me. So
right.
one thing we could do together, maybe we can work together with your children, about what the importance of money. What does money mean to you? Because I know I was thinking about this with my grandson. Like I said, if they always go in the store and if they always think I go in the store, every time I go in the store, I get to get some chips, I get to get some candy. Well, what are we teaching them? The value of a dollar.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna go here too. The things that they have, like these nice things, whether it's a laptop or computer, whatever it is, I said iPad or whatever, teaching them just organization, put it back where it go
yes,
after they use it. Those things, those tips, y'all, help them in school. So one of the principals said this, and I see the chats. I'm gonna ask Diane to read them in just a few minutes. So one of the principals said, be sure to tell the parents to do a lot of outdoor activities, crafts. Um, this is a good one. Lean in, like Pastor Chris say, lean in. um, Modify the schedule. Do a
yeah,
modified schedule. She said, one of the principals said, please still get dressed every day
yes,
and
yeah,
then move around. In other words, don't allow them to stay in their bonnets and they do
big,
rags and they slippers and they clogs and pajama pants all day long.
yeah,
That creates a mindset.
yeah,
After a while, if you do it for the whole month of June, honey, when July comes, you still doing it, it's gonna be a struggle for them teachers in August. This is what happens. Go
yes.
ahead, since you want to go ahead, and I'll read the other ones later. You can go ahead and read those chat.
Okay. So, Antoine, going back to Antoine, and thank you, Kristen. Get you some rest, Ladybug. Antoine, he said he has ADHD as well as a cognitive learning disabilities. And he was saying for himself, have your child continue to take their medication over the summer, help them improve. It'll help them improve their organizational skills before school starts, which equates to back what you were saying, getting up, doing what you need to do on a regular. And that applies to the adults, those of us who work from home. We good to roll up out that bed and just turn on that laptop in your PJs
Yeah.
and get up, put your clothes on, and get to work. So thank you, Antoine, for reminding us to continue, for those who can, to stay on their meds and to continue to get up and learn your organizational skills. And then Antoine also said Michael's has a large abundance of arts and crafts supplies. So he stays up in Michael's. He said I could live in
I
Michael's.
know, me too. I love it.
Yeah, they are definitely a great resource for arts and crafts. And just don't forget about your little dollar store.
Oh
$5,
yeah.
Dollar General,
Yes.
Family
Yes.
Dollar. So yeah, go to your little dollar stores where you can get some stuff there too. And I learned at a one of my good friends' granddaughter's birthday party, a table, and she just had this long table with the white paper on it.
Yeah.
crayons and markers. And baby, those kids were just going in, just drawing and just doing all the most on the paper. And sometimes we get paranoid about our furniture and we don't want it all marked up. But get that paper, that butcher paper, or some poster boards or whatever. Tape some paper together, whatever, and crayons, and let them have at it. The little small ones, especially. And then your
Oh
big,
yeah.
yeah.
I agree. I'm looking on the side of my wall right now, and there's a green green Crayola mark. My youngest grandson, Germani, I guess he was thinking, he wanted to show his Gigi his art skills, and that was when he was 2, he 3. Now I left it there, maybe thinking, he might be an artist. I want to show him. I left it for 2 reasons. One of the reasons, do it again if you want to. But no, I left it there, because back to what you were explaining about the long table and the white paper. This is a white wall, but we got to teach them where not to do
Right.
their art
Or
skills. But yeah, that jogged the memory in that moment. But I think that's very important because children are so creative, but I think we spend less time tapping into their creative um, talents and gifts. It's a blessing to be able to nurture those gifts. First, you got to find out, identify what they are. The crafts, you're saying go to Michael's, go to Hobby Lobby. Those are more expensive, but the dollar store, and then use scissors at home, the glue. I'm thinking like I'm gonna show you something like this piece of paper. You go to the dollar store, Dollar Tree, get you some construction paper, and actually your child can actually, without a marker, without a pencil or a pen, take a sheet of paper and tear it all the different colors and create. So you just tear the paper like I just did, and so that can be therapeutic as well, but it'll be different colors. Like if I was going to use these little pieces of paper, I could use these pieces as a cloud. You see, I could glue that on or tape it as a cloud. Where if I got all those different colors that comes in that assorted pack, I can create anything I desire without a tool, a utensil to be able to draw. So that's something creative, and that doesn't cost you a lot of money. So,
mm-mm.
and then I want to encourage you to have a little create community. Create community. Who is your child's friends? It's a good time to learn them. Who
Mm.
are they? Maybe invite 2 or 3. Let's say with their mother or with their father, or with whoever their guardian is, and maybe a play date. You
Mm-hmm.
may call it a play date if they're 4. I know one of my friends would say we need to do a play date with our grandkids. That's maybe do something like that. You can be as creative as you desire to be. Have the older kids read to the young ones. I know it'd be a sibling rivalry sometime, but you gotta use your timers. I'm gonna shift right here for a quick to get something to show. You can order these on Amazon. So these are sand timers. I would encourage parents to get some of these, and your kid don't have to have ADHD or autism or whatever. Just this helps them to stay um, on time. So this is a 60-minute one, but they have them in 30, 5, 10. So you keep setting these timers, and it's also a visual so they can see the color going down. Some of the kids, most of them are visual learners. All of them are not auditory, so they won't do well with just auditory listening to a book. They would need to actually hold it. They're tactile. Some kids need to touch things. Not
Yeah.
on just kids, some of us are that way. The reason I deal with them as well because it's me. So that's another thing you can do. I miss Oh yeah, take a road trip. Take a road trip. Maybe you said we don't have nowhere to go. Go to Bucky's. Road trip. I don't know. Just
Oh,
everybody
for
get in the
real.
car. Yeah, and take a road trip.
You can make a scavenger hunt out of a road trip,
Okay.
like you're saying, and saying, okay, here's the list of things that we want to find. And if we're going to go to Bucky's, we want to go and find, and again, using these devices and taking a picture. So, did you see a beaver? Did you see a sparkly moose? Did you see some peanuts? You know, whatever it is, make that list out and do that scavenger hunt. Um, when you go to Bucky's, or if you, hey, go to Walmart, go to the dollar store, whatever. Be outside. How about
Yeah,
that? Don't even get in the
yeah.
car.
Go outside before it get too hot. There's a comment. I think that was BMU. He said he had this, and one of his children broke it. Now
You
he
thought,
said because he thought it was a. So I'm going to talk here to all the sports players and fans because my 7 he 8 now, but the grandson, these boys hear me well. Now, first of all, this one is not glass, so you want to get some things that are durable. However, let's set some boundaries now because these sports little players, I mean, you can I know who they are because they everything got to be in the it's a ball. Everything is a ball. They gotta first of all, let's get back to this rule. No ball playing in the house. Drop everything and respond. And they try, they keep on, they kicking it, they throwing it. Well, it's supposed to break because you're not supposed to be using the ball in the house. That's the
right.
first.
That
And
part.
I know because Casey just did it the other day. It doesn't matter if it's round or he think everything ain't a football. Go outside and play. Yeah, okay, I just went
Back
on.
to the basics. Back to the basics.
Yes,
Going
the
back
BMU because I understand. I understand. But this is going back to this BMU. Do you know how many parents talk about things in their house that are broken because of children? Now you already know what the plug gonna say. I ain't blaming the kids. The
no,
plug is blaming us. I'm blaming us.
the
Put
adult.
some boundaries in place now. No ball playing in the house, and if you play ball in the house, I guess you won't get don't BMU. You know now.
Antoine has stated earlier the wash for to your wall artistry that you had by Germani. Washable crayons are a great
Yes, that's
investment,
what I needed.
especially if you have white walls. Please get your washable crayons. That will help you, Gigi.
Yes. I
Um,
need that. I didn't know you were so right. I'm talking about some old school. So old school gonna have to do new school and do
yeah,
like Antoine said, I'm gonna go get some washable.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And April had stated, even though she's under my name, she stated going back to reading Hoopla is another app provided through Dallas Public Library.
Okay.
And then she also stated, oh no, Antoine stated, where I live, I use an app called BCCLS.
And what is that for?
Um, I don't know if
I think
Antoine,
it's reading. Is it reading? Because he responded for Antoine, let us know what the BCCLS app is for.
I think he's
It
responding
says
to April.
it gives access to a number of libraries
Oh,
in the
access
area.
to a
Okay,
number of
to
libraries.
library. Thank you for the background. Um, so I got someone on here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Y'all share this. Remember, we are taking
Snaps.
donations if you led to actually um, sponsor a child who will be in the Antioch Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church. The program is called SLI, which is Summer Leadership Institute. So those funds will go toward one scholar, one youth who the parent can get some support from the plug if you donate today. All right. Also, BMU talked about one of his kids tried to take the sand out of it. Let me talk about that. This is good to me. You know why it's good to me? Because go back to the title of today's podcast. It's drop everything and respond. When
Yes.
your child is taking things apart to get the sand out of here. See, BMU is speaking, and I know this happens to my grandson. That it's nothing that they can put their hands on that they're not trying to take it apart. Don't you
Mhm.
know that is a skill? That's
Yeah.
a child that's tactical. They got to be doing something. Let's
Yeah.
think about those kind of jobs.
Right.
When you get your car need fixing, who you take it to?
I'm a
What is
kid.
he doing? He
Take it
taking
part
your car
apart.
apart. You better hear me well. And even with these the engineering with computers. So
Hmm.
find out, drop everything in response. Don't just start knocking your children over the head. And we don't do that because that would be child abuse. That's
Abuse.
we're not talking. Yeah, and I'm mandated. I'm a mandated reporter. So that's not that. That's not this or that. Okay. But I need you to, we want you to, we're encouraging you to respond to the children. Don't react. See, that's reactive. You didn't
Yeah.
holler, stop doing that. Yeah, that's reacting. You may do something like, you know what? You like taking things apart with your hand. Okay. Well, let's go out here in the yard or in the garage and see what we can find or do, what you can create, welded. I'm just thinking of things, right? So I want all of us now.
I'm sorry.
BMU, I already. Oh, this will leave me. Thank you. I'm taking now. BMU said his kids changed
It
all the
changed
voices to
all
Mr.
the
Lexi.
voices on my list.
And now I like that. I do like that. Your children are talented, but this gonna lead me to this. We open up. We're talking about drop everything in response. We're talking about children for the summer. Hey, it's summer. Now what? Now what, parents? Where we're gonna respond with positive things for the children, reading, whatever they need to do to keep them academically sound, arts and crafts, tapping into the creative side, doing taking road trips, going to the recreation center, going to the church, plugged in or being connected to the church to see what programs they have. We talked about you giving to the food bank so that the food banks can have food to give to families. That's still helping a child. But we want to talk about this. If your child been in school and you've been up to that school, or them people meaning the teachers, counselors, principals, administrators, been calling you about the behavior of your child, hear the plug. All behavior is language. Find out what your child is saying. And since you haven't, I'm going to ask you to plug into therapy. This summer, school is out. You have no excuse. Plug into a therapist. If you don't know one, please send me an email. Get with me after the show at the plug lady 2020 at gmail.com, or connect with me. I will connect you with a child therapy, whether that's me or one of my counterparts. But your children need therapy because this will help bridge them from school, summer, back to school, emotionally sound, giving them coping skills for when they get angry. If you have one of those children who are angry, don't know how to regulate their emotions, I'm encouraging you to send them to therapy. And some of the agencies, they too have programs. Some of them have programs in the summer that helps to teach mental health coping skills for different impairments or disorders. All right, hey Trey. Let me see Trey saying
I
something.
was gonna say they were saying learning a different language,
Oh
and
yeah, I
then
like that.
Trey was saying that his uncle, that he says his uncle, to get him to settle down, he had him sit down and close his eyes and listen to the metronome, and that's the little
Oh,
the thing that goes side to side for the rhythm for the beat,
Mhm, mhm.
um, to stay on beat. So
Yes.
yeah,
That's a tool we use in therapy. To connect to what Trey said, it was a lady next door to me. Matter of fact, the lady was Caucasian. I was probably about 12. She asked me to sit on the porch. I sat on that porch with her and she said, listen, what you hear? And I told her nothing. And she said, shh. And she, to his point, close your eyes. Actually, that lady taught me, it was the beginning process of me learning how to listen.
mm,
And I would encourage us to do that to children anyway. And say, because the first place you probably say, I don't hear nothing, they hear something that's obvious, but to really be in tune. And that's a tool that we do use in therapy because it's what we call grounded. It helps you to be grounded, to be present,
yeah,
so that your mind is not all over the place. Because
yeah,
I'm a believer that there is a spectrum and we all on it. We just don't know where, just find out where you are on the spectrum. But
retrospective.
help the children now. Drop everything and respond. It's
Yeah,
summer. Now
yes,
what? Well, here's your what. Respond to the children. Don't react. It's easy to react.
yeah.
Respond, respond, respond. We thank each and every one of you for your time. I thank you, Lady Di, for being on today and sharing from the perspective, the spiritual perspective of how we can help our children, our young people, that spiritual aspect. being plugged in and connected to teaching them how to read the word, reading. They can read them cans in their pantry. They can read anything you see some words on. Let them read. For how long? 20 minutes a day, especially if your children are reading below. And even if they're not reading below, if they're on grade level or above, keep on reading. It never stops. It never stops. And so, once again, we are glad that you joined us. We are here every first and third Sunday. We do a replay, or we're showing some sort of advertisement, something that's happening in the community where you can get plugged in. But you can see us here on second and fourth live, and fifth, if there's a fifth Sunday live. We'll bring on ordinary people doing extraordinary things because they're plugged into the power. No power, then you don't have what you need to move forward in the things that you need to move forward. And that thing is just relationship, y'all. We're talking here today about young people, relationship. Young people need us and we need them. So until next time, much prayer, much power. Little prayer, little power. No prayer, no power. I am Felicia Williams. I am an LPC associate. I'm supervised by Pamela Aldridge. And here's my business is Plug Connect Counseling LLC. You can reach me at plugconnectcounseling@gmail.com, and we can schedule a 15-minute consultation in office, or virtual. Or like I said, if I don't have what you need, I know somebody that do, because I am the plug. Power living under God. Stay connected. I love each and every one of you. Thank you, BMU family. Thank you, all of you that continue to support us. And have a great Memorial Day weekend. However, drop everything, respond to the kids, respond to the youth. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Because somebody responded to you. All right, I'm out now. Have a great one. Bye.